Majority Whip Steve Scalise and several others were shot yesterday while practicing for the annual Congressional baseball game. Congressman Scalise still in critical condition after being shot in the hip. He's undergone emergency surgery, but doctors say he'll require several more procedures before he's out of the woods.
It's been 2.5 years since Congressman Steve Scalise was shot and nearly killed by a deranged Bernie Sanders supporter. Now, he recovered, and as President Trump says, he's even in better shape now.
Steve Scalise, honestly, I think you're better looking now. You're more handsome now. You weren't that good looking. You look good now. He looks better now. Can you believe it? I don't know what the hell that is.
All joking aside, we're not blaming Bernie for the shooting, but his supporters are angry and they're looking for a fight. Remember the undercover video that O'Keefe shot? They said if Bernie doesn't get the nomination, they said they're going to burn Milwaukee to the ground. Now, here's just a taste of some of his supporters behaving this week.
We need to elect Bernie, and we need a new party of, by, and for working people. And we need a powerful socialist movement to end all capitalist oppression and exploitation.
Bernie, I'm your biggest supporter. Bernie, I'm your biggest supporter, and I'm here to ask you to stop propping up the dairy industry and to stop propping up animal agriculture.
Oh my God. Revolutionaries, fights, naked protesters. Oh my. What a week. Here with his reaction, House Minority Whip Steve Scalise. All right. Congressman, I don't want to get into that whole thing the rest of the media does where they're predicting violence from supporters. That's not what we do here. But as you see the Bernie movement rising in the polls, do you fear any kind of energy from that crew, seeing what you've been through?
Well, I mean, you can see from his rallies, you know, his supporters are very rabid, strong supporters of Bernie, but they want something very different than what America is as you and I know it. I mean, they truly do want socialism. At least of all the Democrats on that stage, he's maybe the most genuine because he at least articulates and defends socialism, while the others want to move a socialist agenda, but talk as if they're mainstream, and they're not. So, you know, those are dangerous policies. I mean, go to any country, and I'm sure none of them would want to go and live for a month or 2 months in any of those socialist countries that exist today because they're disasters. We're not going to let that happen to America.
I don't think we are either. But let's just theoretically say Bernie does get the nomination. Things heat up. Maybe coronavirus kills us all, and Bernie's the president. Politically speaking, Bernie gets in. He's commander-in-chief. Bernie throws around an executive order banning fossil fuels, banning AR-15s. You get a run on the dollar. The gasoline prices double. You're going to have some trouble out in the streets of this country if Bernie Sanders is president. Do you think the American people recognize that? I
think more and more people are seeing the dangers of socialism. And look, I hope they have a debate every single night, because if you look at the last debate they had, I mean, you literally had Bloomberg's criticizing socialism and communism, and they're saying, you know, it's okay to be socialist, but then they're trying to criticize communism as if there's much of a difference at this point between the things that they're talking about. As you said, you know, Green New Deal, you literally get rid of fossil fuels. You talk about some of their other ideas, Medicare for all, you get rid of private insurance that over 150 million people have and like. I mean, these are not things that the public's going to buy. And I think it's why Democrats are scared to death, because Bernie Sanders really is doing the best of all the Democrats, and they're trying to rig it against him again. You know, I think most people look at what happened 4 years ago and think they rigged it against Bernie. And Bernie's folks know that, and they see that they're going to try to rig it against him this time, maybe as far as into the convention in Milwaukee. And I think that would be a disaster for Democrats, because, again, have a fair process. Whoever wins your nomination, you're going to have to own that. I think they're scared to death. They want to quietly embrace socialism, but they don't want anybody else to talk about it. But look, the public's paying attention. They see what's going on.
That's true. All right. Well, we see what's going on with you. You're looking better, as the president said, and we're glad you're doing great. And thanks for coming on Water's World.
Always great to be with you. I owe the president for, you know, he's built a new image for me, but he's been great to work with.
Excellent. All right. Thank you.